Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. Playing a little Marble Rivals here, if you can't tell. I got food on the way, so this will probably be a shorter episode, I would imagine. But, you know, we gotta do it. There has to be Hanging with Mangg at all times. Well, we got a Spider-Man with the fucking the better avatar, because he's played it a shit ton. I don't even have that for Thor yet.
I am the god of thunder and...
Right, so this week on this channel, gold box. Not a gold box. More gold box to come. We're on Gateway to the Savage Frontier. So next is Treasures of the Savage Frontier. And then the 3 Kryn games. But there's also the Eye of the Beholder games, 1 and 2. So, yeah, old school D&D will continue for a bit. Alongside Dawn of War, that'll continue for a bit.
The battle starts
On Two Brothers Play, though, we do have Elden Ring Convergence, which has been quite a lot of fun. For whatever reason, Elden Ring is not running on my main computer at the moment, and I don't know how to ever get it fixed. So, if it did work, I'd probably record some sort of convergence thing of the DLC. But no such luck.
I am barely wounded.
So aside from that, not a whole lot of new games or newish games coming anytime soon. That was a very bold position for an Adam Warlock to be in. Yeah, I've been recording even more stuff. Obviously, I have a lot of Dawn of War, but now I have a bunch of solo role-manging stuff. Every so often, I get in that solo role-manging mood. And since I'm going to start DMing again next week, I wanted to get into the mindset. I wanted to make sure I know all the rules for Shadow of the Weird Wizard. So that's what I started doing on solo role-manging. And it's been good, actually. I've done 2 modules so far. Solo. Working on the 3rd one now, and it's been, yeah, fun. Night.
Shrouded in light.
You know, it's kind of like when I used to do like Let's Read, you know, and we just read through a RPG rulebook and talk about it. But now it's a bit more interactive, and at least I'm playing through like an adventure and stuff.
You get away with it. You get away with it. You get away with it.
Wolverine just ripping me to shreds.
With the amazing Spider-Man. Thanks.
So that's that.
Watch out, an unk! Everybody needs a hand sometimes. Or a dagger.
Behold the god
Yeah, that seems about right.
They're on your tail.
I bring battlefield havoc. We fight well together.
Hold still. I'm trying to help.
Found one of those things. Good thing I was here.
What was I talking about?
Lightning confinement.
Yeah, that's this channel. That's what's happening there. Over the Exploring series, put out a video on redacted SCPs that did pretty well. I was surprised how well it did. Might have thought many people would just think it's stupid, but I guess many people were curious as to what a redacted SCP is. So that was all good. We will see how the feedback goes for this week's video, though. Which is Ergophobia 8980. It's just part 1, 2 parts. And part 1 is only 40 minutes long.
It's now or never. Stop them.
It wasn't really like a good stopping point, a halfway point where things made sense. So I stopped basically where there's like the in-article content warning that things are really going to get worse now.
And Ankh. Step
That
careful.
way, if people aren't interested or are concerned or whatever,
Don't give them another inch.
we don't get into any heavy stuff in part 1.
Hurricane incoming. You get a web. You get a web. You get a web.
Again!
Fall back. Save some strength. A
We
retreat.
stop them in their tracks.
Our Storm's doing better than our special Spider-Man with the cool avatar. Yeah, so we'll see how Ergophobia goes. Definitely not sure about that one. As far as audience reception. I know it's a very popular SCP, very highly rated, blah blah blah. But on-site is different than off-site, as usual.
Behold the god of thunder!
Next week, then, obviously, part 2 of Ergophobia. Which will probably be like an hour long. And then after that, I get to go on vacation. So that'll be nice.
Tandy needs help.
Yeah, we're gonna just have a variety of compilation videos, as in parts 1 and 2 combined, or more. I mean, it wasn't 8 Ball like 4 parts or something. So that'll be something. And that's basically it. There won't be much exploring series to talk about for January. Yeah.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
So, yeah, I'm planning on starting up DMing next Saturday again. That's the tentative plan. And we're going to be doing Shadow of the Weird Wizard. I'm mostly confident in it going pretty well. I think it's a good system. What I'm mostly concerned about is that a big part of the appeal of the system is the customization of your characters, you know. all the spell options available to you, all the traditions, all the... I mean, if you pick spells, and you're encouraged to pick spells, because many of them are very good, even if you're like, I just want to be a fighter. Like, many spells will just make you better. You don't have to, but yeah, they're good. You know, there's like, however many traditions, like 24 traditions or something like that. Each tradition has like 4 talents to choose from. And then there's novice spells, expert spells, master spells for each tradition.
5, 4,
Then you have 40 different expert paths to choose from at level 3, and then like 80 different master paths to choose from at level 7. You know, it's a big part of the appeal system, and it was for Demon Lord as well. My family doesn't give 2 shits about any of that, and would be perfectly happy if I just picked all their shit for them.
Lightning can fight. Twas but a stretch. Slow down. But well together. Mjolnir strikes a heavy blow.
So I don't know. That's my only real concern. That they're just not gonna care about all the options available.
Gets things done.
Slow down.
And so the other one that I would entertain the idea of running again is 13th Age, because I think they overall liked it.
You have my thanks.
help get that vehicle to its destination.
The only thing that I didn't really care about and they weren't crazy about was the idea that you only get your abilities back after you do 3 combats. Or 4 combats, really.
Twas but a stretch.
It's just such a weird idea to me, and they weren't super ecstatic about it either. But I would honestly just change it to be like once per day. You get everything back when you rest.
Next time.
My thanks.
I know, I get why they don't have it that way. It is a little ripe for abuse, and the system's sort of balanced around that.
Beholds the god of thunder!
But they are not the type to abuse anything. Well, it got like 3 of them off the point for 10 seconds.
What battle can continue without thought?
And yet we still didn't get the point. Yeah, so I like 13th Age a lot, and I think I will go back to it once 2nd edition fully drops and I get the shit from the Kickstarter. There's a lot to like about 13th Age if you're looking for heroic fantasy and just, you know, mostly combat focused. You really ulted there?
What
Why did he
battle
ult
must
there?
move swiftly before no rises once more.
Turrets blown.
So for now, I think Weird Wizard is probably our best bet. You know, I like Demon Lord as well.
Beware, behind you.
Oh my god, I couldn't get to the bubble.
What battle can continue?
Pathetic. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to talk. Why do I always pick Marvel Rival? I can't think of anything. Demon Lord probably... the reason I don't want to do Demon Lord is the subject matter is a little too dark and grim. And you could strip a lot of that out, but a lot of the mechanics are tied to, like, corruption and insanity, and they don't have any interest in that shit.
We must move swiftly before no rises once Judge, jury, executioner! I shall show no that a true god brings light, not behold the god of thunder! My power grows.
Thor, sometimes I forget you are literally born.
Asgard is with you.
Yeah, pretty good.
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
So I mean, what other really, like, heroic fantasy games would I run? I kind of like OSR, but clearly it's not a good suit for them. And I don't want to play 5th edition D&D. I don't want to run it, so... And what are the other big names in, like, heroic fantasy games?
Castle went down fighting.
I don't know.
Shall not reign again.
I don't know, actually. And my mind's blanking a little bit on what else I'd pick to run. It's something maybe narrative, like Dungeon World, but... yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked into Dungeon World in a while, or Powered by the Apocalypse stuff, so maybe there's something really eye-catching. The other one, I guess, would be Pathfinder. That's probably the other big one, but that's just too complicated. There's, again, too many options, and it's not simplistic. There's also World Without Number, I guess. But nah, maybe, but I doubt it.
I am Odinson. I'm behold the god of thunder.
So, for now, Weird Wizard seems to be a very strong pick until 13th Age 2nd Edition comes out. Shark. So what I'm planning to run, I'm actually planning on starting them at level 0. Starting tier, as they call it. Just because they haven't played RPGs in a few months now. They're going to be very rusty. Hitting them at level 1 is going to be... it would be doable, but they'd probably appreciate it being even simpler. And level 0 starting tier will allow that. Where they're all basically identical. They have no special abilities. And it's just going to be a pretty simple kind of dungeon-based adventure. Actually planning on running them through the Doom of Savage Kings.
This world's dark king
Which
shall
doesn't entirely take place in a dungeon.
You have my thanks.
I am barely wounded.
Down to 30 seconds.
They have to kind of save this village. It's sort of Beowulf, I guess. They have to save this village from this demonic wolf that comes every night to take sacrifices.
Final 10 seconds.
And there is a dungeon that they can go into and stuff. I think it'll be pretty good. I haven't statted it out or anything to see how easy it's going to be for level 0 characters. But it's kind of hard to die in Demon Lord, Weird Wizard. So it should be a decently fun time, and then they'll hit level 1 and blah blah blah. Took fucking MVP from me, huh? I don't know why he got MVP. Anyways. Yeah, should be a decently good time, I think. Anyways. Don't really want to start up another game here, but I went and saw Nosferatu on Friday. The new Nosferatu from Robert Eggers. It was good. It was definitely good. I don't think it beats out The Witch or anything. It might be better than The Lighthouse, or it might be equivalent to The White Lighthouse for me. It was long, it felt. Yeah, 2 hours and 12 minutes. Long film. I mean, beautiful movie, for sure. And it's like typical Robert Eggers kind of production. Everything's very authentic, and yeah, I mean, it's great to look at. But much like The Witch, I'm looking forward, actually much like all his movies, I'm looking forward to rewatching it with subtitles. Because there were definitely like minor plot points that I entirely missed until I read some discussions about it. Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu was like unrecognizable, like entirely. And I even heard people after the movie ended and the credits came up and were like, "Oh, that's who that was." Like, yeah, very kind of an interesting look. Apparently, there's some controversy, or not controversy, but there's some complaints, I guess, or disappointment in how Nosferatu looks. But he honestly looks fairly on brand for the book version of Dracula. No, there's parts of that, but then there's also part of like just sort of the Romani. He looks very Romani, I suppose, which is appropriate. Yeah, it was good. You know, it's gothic horror. It's very, very gothic horror. So depending on how you feel about gothic horror, I think will impact your feelings about Nosferatu. I'm generally not huge into gothic horror as a genre. And that whole aesthetic doesn't really do a whole lot for me compared to the aesthetic and the folk horror of The Witch. It's much more my jam. But it was good. I mean, I'm definitely going to rewatch it for sure. And I've never seen the original. I mean, I've seen, like, obviously famous little clips from it and stuff that everybody has. And there were some shots in this new one. They were obviously reminiscent of the original that were just, like, really awesome to see. Really well done. You know, Robert Eggers, definitely one of my favorite directors. Hey, Smart J. I'm just wrapping up here, talking about Nosferatu. I said afterwards that it felt like The Lighthouse was a bit more of a man's film, whereas this was a bit more of maybe a woman's film. I mean, not obviously to any great degree, but The Lighthouse was about two men on an island with at a lighthouse as they slowly kind of lose their minds. This was more about, you know, obviously it's about a vampire. It's much more about sort of lust and romance and that sort of whole carnal thing and everything that's kind of wrapped up with vampirism in media. So maybe when I say a woman film, really I just mean more of like, I guess more of a twisted romantic film. Nosferatu was really fun. They stayed true to the original while mixing some new stuff. Yeah, like I said, I'd never seen the original, but I did enjoy this new one. Lighthouse will forever be in your top 5 films of all time. Wow, that is very high praise for The Lighthouse. I definitely like it quite a bit, but I think it was a little rough for me because The Witch is my favorite horror film. And so there was a lot of like expectations going into his second movie for me. Especially after like 4 years, you know, it was like, oh my God, Robert Eggers' second movie. Oh my God. So it didn't quite live up to my expectations. And then also I don't tend to like sort of like avant-garde, you know, that's sort of like weird horror, like that sort of stuff, or weird artsy kind of stuff. And The Lighthouse definitely descends into that. And it's also in black and white, and it's got the strange aspect ratio, and it just felt more artsy than The Witch did. And so that was like, okay. I still really like The Lighthouse. I've seen it several times. But yeah, I'd put Nosferatu around that level. It's not one of my favorites, but it was really good. The Aquatic Life of Steve Zissou is your number 3. Yeah, that's another one of those artsy movies that I would never watch. Not that I watch many non-horror movies anyways. But, yeah. Nosferatu was good. I definitely recommend it if you're at all interested in horror or gothic horror, especially. I went with some friends. One of my friends brought his wife along, who does not really like horror, but she likes the gothic aesthetic and that sort of time period, and especially with it set in Germany and stuff like that. She was more interested in those aspects. In the end, she really disliked the film. Especially one scene, because they have a few very young daughters of their own. So she was quite disturbed by a specific scene towards the end. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Johnny Depp's daughter was shockingly good, and I think everyone kind of commented on that. That most people haven't really seen her in anything up to this point. I think that I hadn't seen her in any movies before this. And yeah, she was really good. So not entirely nepotism there. There's some talent. The depths and gothic weird horror. She's great. She's in Yoga Hosers. Yeah, I can't imagine many people saw Yoga Hosers. I didn't because I don't tend to watch horror comedies. Anyways, that's about all I really had to say. I just wanted to comment on Nosferatu a little bit because it was kind of a big horror movie that just came out, and I actually went to the theater to see it, which is very rare these days. But we gotta support Robert Eggers and everything he does. And, you know, another movie with Ralph Ineson. Always good to see. Although Willem Dafoe was certainly the best part of Nosferatu. As always. No surprise there. Yeah, I never saw Tusk either. I'm familiar with it, but I probably should give that a watch too. I always assumed that it was just a bit too comedic, but I don't think it is. Anyways, so more Dawn of War, more Gold Box games on this channel, more Elden Ring Convergence with Lego. On the Exploring series, part 1 of Ergophobia tomorrow. We'll see how that goes over. Part 2 next week, and then I'm on vacation for a few weeks, which will be pleasant. But for now, my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg, and I'll see you fine folks next week.